Etymology and historical origin of the baby name Princess. A princess is the female counterpart to a prince, both of which are English vocabulary words that define a hereditary royal title. Princess ultimately comes to the English from the Old French, princesse, via the Latin princeps, which in turn is derived from the elements primus, first, and capio, to seize. These root elements are quite fitting since a prince is generally the first to seize the throne upon the death of a king, usually his father. The feminine equivalent is princess, which, like prince, is occasionally used as a given name. Naming one's daughter Princess is mostly an American thing to do. We can't find this name on any other English-speaking charts. Personality of the girl named Princess. The number 4 personality is marked by stability and discipline. This is the personality that follows the rules and is conservative by nature. They have an earthbound energy that prefers to build things methodically on top of firm foundations. They don't cut corners. 4s take their time and don't like to be hurried. But the outcome of their endeavors is likely to result in some strong and useful structure, which makes them great engineers and inventors. 4s are anything but frivolous or controversial. This is a trustworthy, straightforward personality that embodies dedication and organization. They are the backbone and anchor in their relationships, careers, and communities. They are tidy, punctual, and full of integrity. Hard work comes naturally to a 4, and they are immensely reliable. This is the personality you can always count on. Popularity of the girl named Princess. American parents have been naming their daughters Princess since 1979, at least that's the first year this royal daughter made an appearance on the top 1,000 list. Princess reached her peak popularity in the mid-1980s and again in the early 2000s. For the most part, however, Princess is not a common given name. Although common as a term of endearment, you won't often see Princess on someone's actual birth certificate. In other words, naming your daughter Princess is a bold move. You might as well also consider Countess or Duchess. Although Princess sounds particularly Disney-ish since they've been ramming the concept of the princess down our throats for decades now, in an overly commercialized way, we still appreciate the loving sentiment behind naming one's baby girl Princess. But heck, if you're thinking about Princess, you might as well go all the way and consider Queen. There are more subtle ways to accomplish this, too. Regina is the Latin word for queen and reina the Spanish. Rihanna is Celtic for great queen if you like superlatives. But if you're stuck on princess, then consider Sarah, Hebrew meaning princess. In other words, there are more clever and less obvious ways to accomplish giving your daughter a royal title without being so in your face. Really, ask yourself, how well does Princess age into adulthood? Perhaps this one is best left to poodles and porn stars. Or as a middle name. It's just very risky to bestow Princess as a legal first name. You really need to be a person who doesn't care what other people think, and so will your daughter. Quick facts on Princess. Gender, girl. Origin, English. Number of syllables, 2. Ranking popularity, 982. Pronunciation, Princesse. Simple meaning, first to seize, royal daughter. Characteristics of Princess. Practical, solid, industrious, dependable, hardworking, conservative, studious. Cultural references to the baby name, Princess. Literary characters of the baby name Princess. Ida is the Lady of Alfred, Lord Tennyson's narrative poem, The Princess, published in 1847, upon which Gilbert and Sullivan's 1884 comic opera, Princess Ida, is based. Ida is a beautiful princess who has been betrothed to a neighboring prince since birth. Ida, however, decides that she will establish a university strictly for women and will forego the world of men. Her prince doesn't take this lying down, and along with 2 friends, all disguised as women, applies to the university. Needless to say, the disguise is not an easy one to uphold and, before long, they are found out. This almost brings about war, backed by the main participants' fathers, but all is well in the end. Ida is persuaded by her prince, who had been raised by an extremely futuristic mother, that he is all for equality in love and education. That he is several generations ahead of real men does not seem to bother Ida at all, and she happily acquiesces, even tending to the wounds he had sustained in his battle with her. Critics still disagree on whether or not the piece is pro- or anti-feminist. How About You, Becky is the scullery maid in Frances Hodgson Burnett's 1905 children's book, A Little Princess. The title refers to 7-year-old Sarah Crewe, a child at Miss Minchin's boarding school in London, whose wealthy father dies abroad while she is there, and she is turned from a schoolgirl into a servant, sharing quarters with Becky. Becky proves to be a true friend to Sarah, helping her to accept the restrictions of her lowered circumstances. As Sarah has never been condescending to the servant girl, so Becky responds in kind. Now that Sarah is poor, the only thing that Becky wishes to do for her is to be her servant. In time-honored tradition, Sarah's wealth is restored, and having grown older, she takes Becky away with her to a just reward. Born Amelia, Mia Thermopolis or Princess Mia, Princess of Genovia, is the main character in Meg Cabot's notable series of novels The Princess Diaries, first published in 2000. Offbeat Mia will automatically win the heart of every teenage girl who's ever just wanted to fit in with as little fuss as possible. Meg Cabot's writing is silly and entertaining, with tons of pop culture references that will make teens feel right at home within her pages. This is a wonderfully wacky read about an endearing female character coming of age. Princess Fiona is the kind-hearted and feisty princess in the Shrek film series, and is voiced by Cameron Diaz. It was also staged as a musical in 2001. Fiona is under a magic spell that makes her a human by day, but an ogress by night. What a dilemma, especially as it is the ogre, Shrek, who has been commissioned to bring her to her betrothed, Lord Farquaad. Naturally, things heat up between the ogre and the ogress on the way to the Lord, and just as naturally, misunderstandings arise. Love saves the day, however, and when Shrek kisses Fiona, she becomes an ogress permanently, and isn't that just the finest solution you could ever imagine? Among Fiona's many adventures throughout the series, she manages to give birth to the couple's triplets, Ogrettes. Named, charmingly, Felicia, Fergus and Farkle. But of course, Princess Ida is the title character of Arthur Sullivan and W. S. Gilbert's 1884 comic opera, Princess Ida, or Castle Adamant, based upon Alfred, Lord Tennyson's 1847 poem, The Princess. Gilbert and Sullivan set the poem to music and lyrics, and applied a healthy swath of satire against such hot Victorian topics as women's equality and right to education, as well as the theories of Darwin. It was well received, but did not run as long as expected and was not revived in London again until 1919. The play is still performed regularly today, but 21st-century audiences are bound to find it rather dated in its treatment of gender roles. Princess Leia is the famous girl with the bagel braids from George Lucas' iconic Star Wars series of sci-fi movies, beginning in 1977. Any mother would be proud to have her daughter adopt Princess Leia's character traits. Leia is strong, brave, resourceful, and loyal. Oh, and she's also a crack shot and a warrior woman, all while presenting a lovely and feminine demeanor. Not to mention that metallic bikini. Once upon a time, princesses were cruelly put upon, deprived of their rightful heritage, married off to the highest bidder, and, when all was said and done, rescued by the princes and stowed away in the castles forever. This was a happily forever, we were told. Well, sisters, not no more. Those archetypal princesses are the bane of existence for modern feministas, and we are rewriting the book. Bring on your trolls and dragons, your poisoned apples and glass coffins, but be prepared for sword-wielding, karate proficient, no-nonsense women to rise to the bait. Need a dragon slain, a frog kissed, a kingdom rescued, a magic potion dissolved? Look no further than the nearest graduate school, but be prepared to pay a high fee for services rendered. Once personified by Cinderella and Snow White, today's modern princess is more apt to be found in the likes of Leia and Fiona, strong women who are more comfortable being the rescuer than the rescue, and who have no problems with bodily functions just like the common folk. This only endears them more to us, and enhances their hold upon our imaginations. Long live the princess! Popular songs on Princesse. A song by Sonic Youth, a song by Frank Zappa, a song by Olivia Newton-John, Jewish Princess, a song by Jesus Jones, She's Bought a Hat Like Princess Marina, Princess, The Princess of My Heart, by John Lennon, a song by Seal, a song by The Kinks, Princess of the Posse, Forgive Me, My Little Flower Princess, Sleep My Princess, Mozart's Cradle Song, Renegade Princess, a song by Queen Latifah.